Hello warriors, how you doing? I hope you're doing well. Welcome to another episode of Fitness Advice You're Not Going to Take Anyways. This week we're talking about the immune system and your immunity, how to increase it and what it even is. Before we get started, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit the bell, visit our Instagram and follow us there for fun reels and tutorials. Let's begin. All right, immunity. It's almost that time of year.
It is.
Cold and flu season, and now we have COVID.
Indeed.
Woohoo! So, what is your immune system? Do you know what your immune system is, V?
Body's natural defenses to things getting in it that aren't supposed to be there.
In layman's terms, absolutely. Our immune system is a system that fights off pathogens, viruses, fungi, and removes them from the body. What it does is it takes the germ, the bacteria, or the virus, and it learns how to recognize it, it learns how to fight it, or work with it. Therefore, the immune system. Fun, right? What hard little workers. So, how does the immune system actually work, right? How is it activated? Well, a bacteria or virus will enter the system. Your white blood cells go, high alert, holy cow, there's something here that doesn't belong here, send out the soldiers. And then those soldiers go and investigate, and they report back and they say, this is what this is and this is how we fight it. Or, we can work with this, let's go be friends, right? Such as allowing your body to get used to allergies. Certain allergies in your area that you live in. Right.
For those of you that enjoy honey, whether for baking or for coffee or tea or whatever, if you buy locally made honey in your area that's pollen in, you can specifically look for pollen in honey, that's going to help boost your immunity to local allergens. Another good reason to shop for something that actually comes from the area. If you get pollen in honey from halfway across the country, probably not going to help you.
Unless you're going to visit there.
Unless you're that.
This is actually a really good technique when I was traveling around the country. Before I just finally settled down here in Texas, I would eat things from the state that I was about to go visit for a while because I was just a gypsy and I just traveled to a bunch of different states. So it helped me so that when I got there, I didn't have like allergies so bad it looked like SpongeBob in the Suds episode, or the Suds episode, you know, where he's like, I'm fine, Mr. Krabs. And he's just, that's a good one. So the immune system has antigens, and these are what actually go and find out the information that help protect the cells in the body about the germ, virus, or bacteria that has just invaded the system. So while the antigens go and learn about new viruses, bacteria, and fungi, all kinds of stuff that enter the body, if those antigens suddenly turn around onto the body itself, thinking that our bacteria are the enemy, this is what's also known as autoimmune. Autoimmune can be a plethora of things. I've had clients who've had autoimmune that actually affected their skin. So they would look like what they had hives everywhere, not just breakouts, but literal hives. My own sister has autoimmune where her body, if she doesn't eat meat, it starts to eat itself because she needs a particular type of iron that comes from red meat, right? I think we spoke about this in our diet talk episode, which was a really good one. So that's really how the immune system works, is how it's activated to protect the body. Very simple. Something enters, those antigens come in, and they go, we're going to learn about you, we're going to fight against you, and we're going to protect this body. And sometimes they go a little AWOL and nuts, and they're like, hey, body, you're also the enemy. So,
yeah.
Fun.
You know, if you want to learn about this at a really simple level, don't watch Osmosis Jones. Maybe watch Magic School Bus and Cells at Work.
Yes.
There we go.
But Osmosis Jones was a fun movie.
Yes, it was. So some things outside of autoimmune, just basic, straightforward immune system functioning the way it's probably supposed to. Some things you can do to help. Stay hydrated. Being dehydrated is going to slow down all of your body's everything and make it more susceptible to harm. And also, as much as people tend to roll their eyes and think, oh, that's kid stuff, vitamin C. Vitamin C actually does help.
It does, to a certain degree. I would say it's better to just get it from your foods and have citrus in the winter time like you should versus just downing packets of airborne, right? Which, if you are feeling like you are coming down with something, it's all right to add just a little bit extra. If you start seeing your urine as a really bright color, you should probably pull back on that just a little bit. All you're doing is literally flushing your vitamins down the toilet with your urine. It means it's not absorbing into your system and being utilized. So this is why it's much better to just eat some oranges, have some citruses, some pineapples, really good during the winter time, some cherries, grapes, things of that sort, right?
And this goes for most supplements, if not all. There comes a point where you are wasting your money and probably maybe even hurting yourself.
Yes, you can, in fact, those people who do mega dosing of vitamins, you can actually vomit, much like vitamin D is a hormone, it's not a vitamin. And it affects the body in a very large way. So we want to be very cautious, and this is why it's important actually to get your blood work done. And if you're working with a trainer who doesn't know how to read blood work or is not certified in that, I've taken courses so that I can actually do these things. And as a nutritionist, you need to find somebody who can and who can actually guide you and recommend you into taking the proper supplements for what's going on with your body versus just some bro science. It's like, yeah man, take some protein and just take some elderberry, you'll be fine.
Yeah, and we did touch on this in the nutrition and diet episode, which we encourage you to go back and check out. Touching back on a fictional point of reference, if you watch a lot of medical shows, you'll find people that are in the hospital because of some minor vitamin deficiency.
Yeah.
It really does affect a lot of things, including, most importantly, your immune system.
Yep. If you want a really good but rare example is if you are deficient in copper, do you know what happens?
Tell the people.
Wilson's disease.
What is that?
That is literally where like your eyes, you'll see flecks of copper in your eyes and your systems just start to shut down because there's a toxicity of too much heavy minerals and vitamins in the body. It's very scary.
It's bad.
Right? Yeah. I actually learned about that from an episode of Scrubs, and then I went and researched it, and it's a terrifying, rare disease. So it can actually happen that if you are not taking all of your vitamins and minerals and you're intaking enough through your food, because supplements do not absorb all the way, right? That you can create metabolic issues, metabolic diseases. So your immune system will not strengthen, it will not learn how to work with or against anything, it just shuts down. My mom had this problem growing up, so I'm very familiar with it.
Yeah, and one way to help educate your immune system is with things like flu shots.
Yes, flu shots do help. If you're somebody who can have pharmaceuticals, I still recommend them. There are for the bodies who need that extra education into the cells. They do in fact work in conjunction with the body. The reason that you end up feeling the symptoms of whatever they're supposed to be fighting against is because they're actually introducing that strain into your body so that your body learns how to fight it, right? It learns what it looks like, it learns how it functions, it learns what it's supposed to be doing while it's in there wreaking havoc on your system, right? So that when you are introduced, you may not even notice that that pathogen, that virus has entered your system because your system has already fought it off and pushed it out of your body, which is wonderful, right? It's a great way.
Yes.
Flu shots are a wonderful way. The exercise, of course, is a really good way to boost our immune system as well. Why? Because it messes with your hormones. When your hormones are happy and healthy, the rest of your body follows. It's a wonderful thing, right? We didn't hit on the two systems. There are two systems of the immune system. The two systems are the non-specific and the adaptive specific. The non-specific is the one we're talking about that has to do with when something has not been introduced to the body yet and it needs to learn. So the adaptive specific is the one that says, oh, we recognize this allergy, we're going to fight this off. Right, so very simple. Non-specific, never been introduced. Specific, already knows what it's doing, and it combs through its book and says, ah, that's the one. I remember this germ. You get out of here, right? So that's cool. So there are several more ways that we can boost the immune system. Do you know a few more?
Yes, getting plenty of sleep, proper nutrition, as we talked about, diet and nutrition. Go back and check out that episode. And what was the other one?
Managing your stress.
Stress!
Stress is
Everything's
actually a
fine.
really big one, right? The dog with the fire, this is fine. So managing stress is actually a really, really big one. Do you know why?
Oh, gee, I don't know. Is it because of surges of adrenaline and cortisol surging through your muscles, breaking everything down?
Yes.
Yeah.
It absolutely is. Though back to those hormones. So when we have unhappy, unhealthy hormone levels, they tend to wreak havoc on our system. Our system gets confused. It doesn't know how to handle things anymore. Hence autoimmune, or just constantly getting sick because it's breaking down and it has no nutrients or not the proper amount of nutrients in order to actually strengthen itself against defenses. Another really good way that we haven't hit is actually adding in mushrooms. And I'm not talking about the psychedelic take a trip with me mushrooms. I'm talking about things like reishi, cordyceps, lion's mane, all these kind of things. These are really, really good to help strengthen the immune system. If you've never heard of Paul Stamets, I highly suggest him. He has a wonderful TED Talk on, I believe it's called 7 Ways That Mushrooms Can Save the Earth, and it's very good. He also has a book called Mycelium Running that tells you all about mushrooms, the different ways that they can be used in the planet, and how they actually affect the body. It's so cool. So they're a very, very powerful antioxidant. And
Fun fact.
they detox everything they come in contact with, which is cool.
Can I nerd out on you for a minute?
Yes, of course.
They also used his research and ideas as the basis for a lot of the fictional points in Star Trek Discovery and named one of the characters after him.
That's awesome.
That's an aside. Anyway, back to the actual science.
So mushrooms are really cool. There's also a really nice TED Talk. I forget this girl's name, but she created a mushroom death burial suit. And so when you pass away, you are buried in the suit, and instead of being embalmed in a bunch of fluids that could actually release toxins into the earth once you decompose, you are eaten up by this mushroom suit instead, and it detoxifies your body and turns you into compost, which is really cool,
Nice.
right? I think that is so neat. And she's an art student. So there are a lot of things that mushrooms can do, so imagine what they could do for your immune system. A really, really good way to boost your immune system that a lot of people, especially in America, struggle with is lessening your alcohol intake or consumption.
Oh yeah, alcohol, junk food, all of the things
Yep.
that literally we already know toxify our bodies.
Absolutely.
But that's not going to stop us from having a good time.
Right? And that's a misconception, I think. Just because you are not drinking, suddenly you're a boring stay-at-home person
Exactly.
or stuck up or whatever, right? However, I party every day. It's called balance, it's life, right? Your party could be taking a hike. Your party could just be
Reading a book.
chilling with your friends, watching a movie. Who said alcohol has to be involved? It's literal poison, and it shuts down the frontal lobe. It kills organs and shuts them down, and yet we revere this as such a good time,
Yes.
right? Oof, my soul is sad. So, immune system strengthening. We've got stress management, sleep, enough sleep. Again, that hormone balance. Your body also needs time to recover, and it needs time to actually detoxify itself, right? Which it does in its sleep, which is fantastic. Move your body. Eat better foods. Get sunlight and moderate the supplements that you're taking. I also highly recommend extra vitamin D, whether you work outside or inside, especially on cloudy days. On cloudy days, I take just a little extra, make sure that my mood stays nice and elevated, my body feels good, you know. I'm not like walking around just constantly with the sniffles, which is wonderful. And I also use a natural D-histamine, right? Or a histamine blocker. So it's called D-hist, and it's got things such as stinging nettle in it, which is really, really good to help with postnasal drip. and pollens. So there are a lot of natural ways.
Indeed.
Apple cider vinegar is another great one.
It really is.
It is, and it's great for the digestive system as well because you get probiotics with that mother in there, which is wonderful for your gut bacteria.
Really simple one, hot water, lemon juice, and honey.
Absolutely. I actually turned it into a tea. If you take the hot water and put just a capful of apple cider vinegar in there, lime, honey, and cinnamon, you have a cold remedy right there, which is really great. I've given it to a lot of clients who didn't feel well, whether it was allergies or they were actually starting to get sick. Within a few days, they felt so much better. So there are a lot of good ways. Add some ginger in there. Ginger is a really powerful antioxidant. Strengthens the immune system. Garlic strengthens the immune system. Eat good foods. Eat better foods, right? It makes a difference. Plus, it's delicious.
Indeed.
All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you get something out of this. And this winter, you stay healthier and happier. If you have a topic you'd like us to discuss, leave it in the comments below. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, subscribe, and hit that bell. We'll see you next time.